Greetings, Stephanie Kwame from the CAD Academy. I'm going to share with you a beginning project that we use for our schools. We have lots of tutorials for our instructors on our website, and they go step by step and help students integrate CAD, learn about the building information model, and also at the same time they learn about architecture. We are going to start a new project, so I'm going to say File, New. And one of the things that we do for education is we arrow down and make sure everybody's at the standard profile, because we haven't done any customization or anything. We want everybody on the same page, and so that allows for the menus to be in the same position and for us to all follow along. Another thing we do is we do a very simple project so that students are successful, that they see a sequence of how you might do something, and it helps them have the confidence to move on, because you want that first experience to be very, very positive, so you don't give them a lot of extra information. This is the startup menus. We have the navigator over here where we navigate around the project. I love, love, love that area. We've got zooming tools. We have a toolbox. Whatever's selected, we have a ribbon of information about it. We have editing tools right here. Now, this is our drawing area. You naturally would want that to be as large as it could be, so I use this tool to home it up. These are elevation markers, and they don't plot or anything, but they help when you're building. They help the program build the elevations naturally from what you're drawing. So we just have the students change up here to this multi-wall, which gives us some rubber banding capabilities, and you can do multiple picks. We start in an orientation up here, and as we're moving along, we talk about the guidelines, so you can see that you're exactly straight because of the guidelines. There's feedback constantly with this program. We're going to say we're going to go 24, which is feet. The program defaults to feet. So again, they're heading along doing this, and they could do a rectangle, but this is good for typing in and doing directional input. When I see the hammer, I click and we have closure. We then go to generic preview to take a look at this, what we've just drawn, and believe it or not, some people are not good at orbiting. The kids usually are, but maybe it's the older people that aren't. But if you have never orbited, you can take a look at this in 3D. So you do a beginning pick point, and if you want to go left and right, you just hold that pick point down and go back left and right. If you want to go up and down, like that. If you want to continue around, you just lift up your pick and then just continue moving it in the direction you want to move it. So that's just a little bit about orbit. Okay, we're going to go back to the first floor, and one of the first things we do is we take a look at doors. These are all parametric objects, and there is a lot of content on each and every object. And there's also downloadable objects, extra objects you can download, but each object is changeable, so it multiplies the amount of anything you've got by a lot of capacity, because everything is parametric. If I want to look at what this would look like, I can come down on my preview, and I'm just going to leave it in a 2D form. I can also change a lot of things. Opening information and what it looks like, add more side things, and under parameters there's a wealth of information that I can change. It doesn't look like I can change anything here, but you just select them and you can change anything. And again, this is parametric objects. So we're going to say OK, and now I'm going to zoom in on this on this floor plan. And you can do a roller mouse zoom in, but if you're an old AutoCAD person like me, or an old 2D CAD person, you can do a pick here and a pick here and have that control of the window that you're used to in the past, and I can use it that way. I have doors selected. These are the parameters on the door. I'm going to go, this is up to my wall. This is called a Mercedes cursor. By default, this snaps to a midpoint. So I have a midpoint. When I'm on that midpoint, I get my check. And then the next little question this is actually bringing up is, where is my door? Is the door here? It's there. I can select here and it will put a door there. And so by just selecting in a certain area, the door will appear. And the arc. So if I want the door swing here and it to swing be opened on this side and the swing here, I just pick here, and that's what happens. Let's zoom in just a little bit more into our door and take a look at this. The first thing that happens is you want to do something different with the door. Want to change anything about anything at any time, we go up to this arrow. One setting I like is the magnet, because it identifies what we go over. Selecting a door sometimes is easiest by the label. You can see it found it, so I select it. Now say I want that swing to be over there. By selecting a grip, that brings up my palette of things that I can do. So these are things that I can do. Ignore anything you drag along because you're not really moving it. You're just going over here. So I can see that I can do moving, I can rotate, I can but anyway, I'm going to mirror and then come down and select that pink grip again, and we've basically mirrored our object. Now if I go up to this ribbon, I can double click on the door. I can right click also. There's a lot of ways to do things, but if we go up here and do it this way this time, we can see that we can also flip under preview and positioning. So I can say flip it. So now we flip the door. I could also come up here and change to a different door now. So anything you put in here is not a live or die situation. If you you can put things in and they're all changeable. Everything again is parametric, so as you're creating your design, you can be creative and not worry too much about the details. I just hit escape to unselect that door because then it would think everything I was working on from now on would be using that door. One thing that's interesting and we talk about with students, let's say we put in an egress door, and I'm going to select this one. And we can talk about X and Y coordinates because you can put it, you can use different ways of inputting data. So if I come up here and I align without picking with that corner, so I'm going to align with that corner, and I know I'm aligned with that because I have my check mark, and I want to put a door so far down on this particular wall, my exit door, and I don't want it to be in the middle, and so I'm going to look at this check, then I'm going to type in X, and let's say I want it 6 feet 6 inches, the middle point to be 6 feet 6 inches down this wall. I can do 6-6, and that would be 6 feet 6 inches on my coordinate. Oh, I forgot something. I'm sorry. I do this all the time. Let's do it one more time. I'm checking. I do X, and I forgot to do 6-6 plus because I want to go in the positive direction. Anyway, it's a mathematical thing, and it's good for students to learn. I enter. We are now there. Now the question is, where is the swing oriented and the door oriented? So I'm going to say here. And now we have that back door in there. And again, this is our first lesson, so they get a little bit of information about that. Next, we would place a few windows. We just want a quick and positive experience. We don't care. They will allow them to pick whatever window they want, but practice putting a window in on a midpoint as well. And let's do put that window in, and let's say that we want to go along this X coordinate again, so I'm going to put that window in. I'm going to do X, and I'm going to say I'm coming in the negative now, so let's do negative, let's do 6-6 again, and we end it with the plus, enter, and now we have that exactly over there. If we want to check on that, take our measuring tool, select here, and it was measuring to the midpoint. So if we go to the midpoint, that's 6-6. So that's perfect for us. Now let's go ahead, and that's a big window for that area, for the front area. Let's go and find some special windows and put in this window in the front. And again, if I want up this way, it would be Y. But let's practice again here. I'm going to do X, and I'm going to put that over 6 from this wall. And we have one there. And then if we want to, operators like to use this, believe it or not, because it seems to be a fast way for them to input. And so there we have that. And now let's take a look. Whoops, I didn't tell it which way. Let's take a look at what we've created. Here we have a beginning of a building, and it wasn't too difficult or hard for them to learn, and hopefully a positive experience. Let's go back to the first floor, and now we would put in a slab. You can change the information on the slab, but we're taking defaults mostly here so that it can quickly have a good experience. So I'm going to do my spacebar, magic wand this in with the defaults. Take a look at it with my generic perspective, and there we've got a lovely floor. Let's go back to the first floor and let's put in a roof as well. On the roof there are automatic roofs, and one of them would be a hip roof. So if we wanted to put a hip roof in, we can use that magic wand tool as well. This is if we pick lines. We can go pick corners to put in a roof. The roofing is wonderful here. There's a way to connect roofs. We're going to play with that further on in training. Magic wand this, select here, and we've got an overhang going. We can see the dashes there. We like everything about that. So we go ahead and we'll go ahead and take a look at this under generic perspective and see what we did. It's got a little bit of a big pitch. We're going to say that we're in here in snow country. One thing that happened is I believe that our walls are 9 feet, and I think the roof is now 10. I want to select all the roof panels and move that roof up. So I have roof over here. Control A selects everything of that particular component, and it did start, but let's change this and move this up to be at the 10-foot level, and I'm going to change this to be 8 so the pitch isn't quite in 12, but I can also change other things about it. So we like that, and now what we've done is changed our roof. So while we were drawing this, the computer did elevations for us, and we can go into a perspective view that we really enjoy looking at, and you find use, if you have 3D, you use it quite a bit. I can also quickly photo render with default settings. It has default lighting, and see what I did. The rendering in this program and being able to do renderings and walkthroughs are very easy and very quickly done. So again, a great program for doing anything. If I go over here, I have doors, window schedules, all component schedules. If I had, it shows us information about that. I have a sheets drawing plan started. We can turn off layers with that as well. If I go over here to the first floor again, moving around my navigator, you can see that that's awfully cool to move around. And I'm going to select one of the roof panels, right click, and say I don't want to see that layer right now, so I'm going to hide that layer. Let's go to walls and not pick it, but just be on the wall tool and do Control A. That will select all walls. Let's go document extras, and we can do some pretty awesome and easy exterior dimensioning. We can say we want this to dimension from the center. We want to just have this parameter and put it on all 4 sides. We say OK. We select a wall, say this is where the dimensions are located, and then you can quickly dimension the drawing as well. So now if I go back into my first floor, it changes, and it would show the dimensioning. Back to the first floor again. That's basically the end of our session here and what we wanted to accomplish with first-time users. If that was helpful to you, we are very pleased about that. You'll find a series of several small videos as you go along on our videos that help you with pretty basic and beginning things and things that people have trouble with. ArchiCAD, the people that established BIM, the Building Information Model, basically has advanced users, and you mostly find help on advanced tools, and beginning users are left without knowing what to do. So the purpose of our videos is to help with training, and if you hit a snag, to help you with that snag. So we bid you an aloha, and we hope to see you again sometime.